I mean, the whole weekend has been tough, but in qualifying especially, the car is just degrading. Honestly, every lap that I did in qualifying just was worse and worse.
The car is just completely broken aerodynamically. That's Max Verstappen, live on team radio, right after spinning out of Hungarian Grand Prix qualifying. What a joke! What a joke, honestly. What a sweet weekend. Broadcast live on F1's world feed for absolutely everyone to hear. He qualified 6th, his teammate 8th, on a car both of them are now openly, publicly calling broken. And by the time Saturday was fully done, a bizarre penalty shuffle had somehow dragged Verstappen 2 whole places up the grid anyway. 4 separate things happened in one single session. All of them fully documented. Let's go through every one of them in order. But before we do, if you want more updates and news on Max, then hit that like button and subscribe right now for more breakdowns. Some context on why this particular session mattered so much. The Hungaroring is one of the tightest, most technical tracks on the entire calendar, often called Monaco without the walls. Because overtaking here is genuinely brutally difficult, that makes qualifying position almost everything heading into Sunday's race. Red Bull went into the weekend hoping this energy-rich circuit would suit the RB22 better than Silverstone or Spa did. Friday's practice sessions already suggested otherwise. Red Bull's technical director admitted openly the drivers weren't happy with the car's balance even before qualifying had started. So when Saturday finally arrived, Red Bull needed a clean, mistake-free session just to hold position in a tightening midfield fight. What actually happened instead was a session so chaotic it produced a radio meltdown, a lingering mystery, and a lucky escape, all inside the very same hour. Here's exactly what happened, word for word, no exaggeration. In the closing stage of Q3, Verstappen spun at the final corner while still pushing hard to improve his time. On team radio to race engineer Gianpiero Lambiase, he said, "Mate, the car is just completely broken aerodynamically. It's just getting worse and worse. What a joke." Team principal Laurent Mekies tried calmly to talk him down, telling him, "Super difficult out there, Max. We'll try and fix what we can fix for tomorrow." Verstappen's response, still live on the radio, "I'm sorry. It's just for me, it's just completely undrivable, really. It's really, really bad." That's not paraphrased for drama or effect. That's the actual transcript, confirmed independently by multiple outlets who had the exact same broadcast feed. Now here's the part Verstappen himself genuinely can't explain. He didn't blame tire wear, which is normally the go-to excuse for this track. He specifically said instead, "The weekend in general has been difficult, but when, instead of the tires degrading, the car is degrading, then you have a big problem." That's a driver plainly saying the car itself got physically worse to drive as the session dragged on, not the rubber underneath him. The gap data backs up something being consistently, persistently wrong. Red Bull was 0.484 seconds off the pace in FP1, 0.69, 2 seconds off in FP2, 0.717 off in FP3, and still 0.518 off by final qualifying. That's not a one-session blip at all. That's a car that never once found its window all weekend long, and even Verstappen, by his own admission, can't fully explain why. Okay? Before we go any further, make sure you're smashing that hype button because it's about to get a whole lot more insane. Now, let's be precise here, because it's genuinely tempting to spin this into a teammate feud, and the facts simply don't support that read. Isaac Hadjar also spun during qualifying in Q2 and qualified 8th, 2 places behind Verstappen overall. Speaking to Canal Plus afterward, he said, "The pace has been rubbish since yesterday. We haven't really made any progress, and it's really frustrating." No reports from this weekend show any real friction or blame between the two drivers. Quite the opposite, actually. Both of them independently describing near-identical problems on the exact same weekend in 2 completely different cars actually points one clear direction. This isn't a driver issue at all. It's the car. 2 of the sport's fastest, quickest drivers both got beaten by the same exact machine in the same way. Here's where it gets stranger still. After a session where Red Bull looked genuinely broken, the grid got reshuffled by penalties that had nothing to do with them directly. Lewis Hamilton was handed a 3-place grid penalty for impeding Oscar Piastri during Q3. Separately, championship leader Kimi Antonelli was hit with his own 3-place penalty for not slowing enough under yellow flags. The very yellow flags caused by Verstappen's own spin. The FIA's stewards said afterward that Antonelli's throttle lift was insufficient and unsustained. Both penalties combined together pushed Verstappen from 6th all the way up to 4th on the grid onto the second row, without him actually doing anything differently. A car both drivers openly called broken still somehow ended up starting inside the top 4, purely off other people's mistakes. Put it all together, and here's the real tension heading straight into Sunday. Red Bull starts P4 and P8 with a car that, by both drivers' own testimony, never once found consistent grip all weekend, on a track where overtaking is genuinely notoriously difficult. That penalty-driven promotion buys Verstappen valuable track position he didn't actually earn through raw pace, which matters enormously here, specifically because passing is so hard to pull off. Red Bull currently sits 4th in the Constructors' Championship with 151 points, more than 200 clear behind Mercedes' 358. A strong recovery drive from P4 would ease the mounting pressure heading into the summer break. A repeat of Saturday's degradation issue in full race trim would confirm this isn't just a one-session fluke, but a deeper, unresolved problem baked into the RB22 itself. Full numbers here, all sourced and independently confirmed. Qualifying result: Verstappen 6th, 0.518 seconds off pole. Hadjar 8th, with both drivers spinning at some point during the session. Session-by-session gap to the pace. A persistent, entirely unresolved deficit across 6 separate, distinct sessions. Penalties: Hamilton, 3 places for impeding Piastri in Q3. Antonelli 3 places for insufficient slowing under yellow flags caused directly by Verstappen's spin, plus 1 penalty point added to his super license. Final grid after penalties: Norris pole, Leclerc 2nd, Piastri 3rd, Verstappen 4th, Hamilton 5th, Russell 6th, Antonelli 7th, Hadjar 8th. Championship context: Red Bull 4th in the Constructors' standings on 151 points, 207 behind Mercedes' 358. Every single figure here comes directly from the FIA's own published grid document and matches reporting across the race. Racing News 365, ESPN, Motorsport.com, Sky Sports, and Motorsport Week. Independent outlets, consistent numbers, absolutely no contradictions. Here's the honest read on this whole one. Red Bull didn't have a good session. Both drivers said so themselves, in their own words, entirely independently of each other. But the sport's penalty system handed them a grid position their pace clearly didn't earn on the one track this year where that position actually matters most of all. That's not Red Bull's doing, to be fair. That's just how Saturday happened to break. Whether Verstappen can turn a lucky P4 into an actual result on Sunday depends entirely on whether whatever's wrong with this car gets properly fixed overnight, and right now even Verstappen himself doesn't seem to know what it is. We'll have the full race breakdown the moment that checkered flag falls. Smash that hype button, subscribe, and we'll see you all at Lights Out.